Hi, welcome back to Genesis Custom Savers. Have you ever taken on one of those projects that seems pretty straightforward at first, but then the more you get into it, you have a tendency to overcomplicate things? Does that happen to you? Well, I set out to just update a toy TIE fighter to play with my sons. Thought I'd put some lights in it, maybe some sounds, and yeah, you guessed it. It ended up becoming way more involved, and I just finally got it done now, but it is really cool. It's an old vintage TIE fighter. I don't remember which model exactly, but I put a Crystal Focus version 10 in it, so it's got all the sounds and engines. Smooth swing. I engineered a whole new sound font just for this toy, essentially. And of course, yeah, lots of fun to play with. So like I said, it started out pretty straightforward. I just thought I'd try experimenting with some paint techniques. I used an afterburner metallic from Testors to dry brush on some metallic hints to the metal exposed edges and ridges, and then a black wash just to kind of bring out the contrast and contours of the toy design. But then the more I got into it, I realized there's a whole lot of inaccuracies in this toy. It's not a real replica, but I thought I'd go with it anyways and started taking it apart, deciding where I was going to run wires, drilling holes for LEDs, and then things just went from there. Green LEDs in the blasters ended up being green LEDs with a red LED tucked in behind it so that it would glow faintly red and then blast green. You know, stuff like that. I used brass fittings and just things that just seemed to make it better. And of course, instead of just putting basic sounds in, I had to go with a full Crystal Focus version 10 to get the smooth swing that I wanted and the sweeping sounds. And then, of course, if you're going to use the Crystal Focus version 10, you got to add in the OLED screen. So I decided I was going to write a whole little BMP program and animation to simulate the TIE instrument panel and scope with a little X-wing that kind of zooms in there. It just went from there. So interior lights, exterior lights, then trying to get it back together. You'd think it has lots of room in there. Initially it looked like it, but with the battery in, the recharge port, routing all the wires and the switches, it ended up being a really tight fit, and I had to Dremel away a bunch of parts. But finally I got it back together again, and it's working, and because it's got the exposed recharge port in the bottom and an internal battery, I don't have to open it up again. And if I want to make any changes to the sound card or sound font, I get access to the SD card just by opening up the top of the cockpit. So I don't know if that's the kind of thing that you would want to do with one of your toys, but I can tell you from playing with my boys, it does make things a whole lot cooler. Thanks again for watching.